So now we're back to the Ocean Tornado, and so many things are wrong about this. The main reason I hate these things is that there's these invincible enemies that you can't use guns against, even though the guns are the most accurate weapons in the game. And it's just so frustrating to me. You use weapons to collect rings and get health somehow, but rings give you such a tiny amount of it and you're overwhelmed by enemy attacks. You don't have time to shoot down attacks with guns and attack the enemies. I think your best bet is to use a control pad to switch weapons much faster. Not that Tails tells you which weapons are mapped to what anyways. The Ocean Tornado hurts your hands from all the tapping that you're doing. You're tapping the rings, you're tapping the enemies. I really don't think this is very good. And speaking of not very good, this is easily a prime shining example of how the hidden islands really were designed by the same people who designed the actual levels. Like, a lot of people say Rush Adventure has more platforming. I think they're referring to areas like this. This is more designed like a Mario level, where you just hold right and press jump to get to a higher area, rather than jumping to land on precise platforms. This island might as well be called the Island of Annoying Badniks. There's enemies that take multiple hits to kill, and they swing ball and chains around them. They can easily hit you. And, like, it gets worse. Much worse. So, thanks to Marine, we were able to enter another level. And that's not the only time that Marine's been useful either. I like how Marine, at least she allows us to stay in her house. Like, she gives us the hub world in the first place. Like, if we didn't have her letting her stay at the house, then Tails probably wouldn't be able to build all the watercrafts and stuff. I don't know. I'll give credit where credit is due. The fact that she has 3 different Temper Tantrum character portraits says a lot. The writers of the game were too in love with her and let her do whatever she wanted, but the artists who designed the character portraits knew exactly how annoying she was. But anyways, this is Coral Cave, and well, I think that the music is a step up from the previous 2 songs. It actually tries to fit the area this time around. But I don't know, the melody gets a little too sloppy, unpredictable by the end, and I don't know, I don't really think it fits a Sonic game. I love the aesthetic of this place, though. Like, this place just looks beautiful. This is yet another very unique aesthetic for a Sonic level. Like, has this ever even been done before? The green bumpers, they always send you in one direction. Like, there's a left direction and a right direction. They're a lot more predictable and easy to deal with than bumpers. So I like them. But, yeah, like, this level might as well be called the Cave of Annoying Badniks. You got the crab things that create electricity above their heads, and even though Tails specifically says that you're invincible when you boost into them when they have the electricity above their heads, you still get damaged. They're about as bad as the shell crackers. Their hitbox is so large when they have electricity above their heads. Even though you boost into them from the side, you still get damaged. It's a good idea to look out at the top screen, because that way you can tell when a purple thing is about to fall onto you and crush you. That's right, they can crush you. And I don't really like how you can jump off of the hooks, because you need them to progress. I really hate that. See? I tried to boost into that crab enemy, and I got hit somehow. How is that even possible? You gotta awkwardly jump over them when they do that. And I really hate the bad enemies that they just instantly fly at you. But yeah, the green bumpers basically send you in 4 different directions depending on whether you run into the bottom left part, the top left part, the bottom right part, or the top right part. every level gives you a different type of material when you beat it. And that includes the boss fights. So now I'm showing off the music that I think should have been played instead of the music that was. This is Metallic Madness Good Future from Sonic CD. I believe it's a Japanese version of the theme. But doesn't this spin it so much better? Like, I don't know. Once again, I don't really think the Rush soundtracks suit the context nearly as well. The instrumentation isn't nearly as good as previous games. And even the melody isn't nearly as coherent. It's not as easy to tell what the melody is. So, one of my problems with the cutscene presentation in this game is that the character portraits don't always show emotion properly. Like, I mean, it's good that multiple characters are finally shown on one cutscene, but the problem is that it highlights the character that's talking, but it's only the character that's currently talking that gets shown with the correct emotion for the character portrait. So oftentimes you'll have situations where Tails looks like he's smiling when he's supposed to be scared of a situation. Like, it's kind of off-putting, to be honest. Like, it doesn't entirely help to enhance the cutscene presentation. But yeah, you've got these minecarts. They don't work like the previous minecarts do. You jump, and the minecart jumps, rather than you jumping out of them, which is good. It was a little intuitive for me, though, because every minecart that I dealt with at that point, because I hadn't played Sonic Advance 3 when I first played this game, like, every minecart I had dealt with up to that point had you jump out of it. But yeah, this is an alright level, but when I first played it, I was like, this is another level that I'm not really gonna want to play again, because there's just annoying enemies everywhere. And I feel like this is a level that doesn't really understand alternate routes. Like, the previous levels were all about alternate routes. But this game, like, this level's more about you have to go in the direction that the developers specifically want you to go. The only alternate routes, really, are here. And it doesn't really matter what route you take. Here I'm taking the route that gets me the most rings. But you could take any route and you would still get to the goal. Which is good. That's how alternate routes are supposed to work after all. They're not supposed to lead you to dead ends. Knuckles Chaotix. But yeah, like, I like that a little bit. But it's kind of pointless and you're not moving very fast in it, so when you're trying to beat the mission to beat it in the smallest amount of time, it kind of feels like it's cheating you out of time, I don't know. Yay, an actual cutscene! Here we get introduced to the villain of this game, who is cliche and even more one-dimensional than Eggman is. I wonder who built this robot. And yeah, like this cutscene with actual action in it, Sonic running right up to the robot villain. Oh, visual novel style again. I like that line. Like, we should be asking you the same thing, old man. She's pretty good at sounding badass, even though she isn't. I wish I knew what happened there, but because of this terrible cutscene presentation, you only figure out what happened in this cutscene. Yeah! Blaze making her awesome dramatic entrance. Appearing in a fiery explosion, Blaze is really good at making awesome entrances. Oh. Another visual novel style cutscene again. That's right, we're in Blaze's dimension. Although, I feel like this was foreshadowed pretty well when you think about it. Like, Southern Island, South Island. Like, it would be pretty redundant to have both a South Island and a Southern Island in the same dimension, don't you think? Oh, like, where is South Island anyways? Like, Southern Island's supposed to be in Australia, Blaze's dimension, isn't it? The ring physics in this game are actually even worse than they were before. When you get hit enough, you'll only lose one ring, no matter how many rings you had previously. This boss can be pretty annoying. It's entirely random what its strategy will be. So I kind of feel sorry for speedrunners. You gotta jump into all of the red tentacles to be able to jump into the green one, which is the only one that lets you deal damage. But right there, you can see that sometimes the green tentacle can go on to those red ones when you're underwater and make it impossible for you to jump into it. That's not very good game design. You get completely cheated out of a hit. Is it just me, or does this boss look like an Octorok? I mean, it's got like the snout and everything. But yeah, you jump into the green part, and you can jump into it multiple times, which is kind of satisfying. But again, it's nothing like the classic Sonic games, because otherwise it's still padded. It still takes over a minute to beat the boss, regardless of what you do. Thankfully, these things don't crush you when they slam on top of you. In fact, I don't really remember any boss fights in this game having insta-kill crushing hazards. Oh no! It made the screen slightly darker! Whatever am I going to do? That isn't the real ink hazard. This is. The cheap thing about that is that no matter where you are on the screen when it decides to do it, no matter what direction it happens to be facing when it decides to do it, it'll always end up covering the fourth wall in black ink. Like, the boss could be facing left, and it would still be able to cover it in ink. Like, you should be able to spin dash out of the way of that attack so that it can't cover the screen in ink. But it's not really that big of a deal. You can still easily hurt it, even with the screen covered in ink. It's not like it makes the screen completely black. So basically the explanation is they go to a different dimension because the emeralds decide they should go there. So the Chaos Emeralds didn't suck Blaze into Sonic's dimension all the times that Sonic's dimension needed saving. Like, the Chaos Emeralds must be omniscient to know that Sonic always will be able to save the day. Like, the planet even got shattered into pieces at one point, and they still knew that Sonic would be able to save the day and they wouldn't need Blaze? Really? Also, Marine was all like, what's plasma electrical waves? Even though she was able to build a ship. But Blaze showed actual intelligence. Like, Blaze was actually pretty intelligent, knowing what plasma and stuff were, and that it would be able to help them. And here's where we get to the point in the game where you're absolutely forced to replay levels. You need a lot of rings in order to be able to build this radio tower. Now, I would like it if they at least explained that Tails needed those rings to buy materials to build the radio tower. But, no. This is even worse than when Tails asked you for money to get you to special stages in 3D Blast. So, I had to use the Max Rings code. When I played this in my first playthrough, I'd already replayed the levels so much that I had well over the amount of money that I needed for this point in the game. But it's still padding, though, absolutely forcing you to replay all the levels. Like I got this game used, so when I turned on the game for the first time, I was immediately brought into this part of the game. This was where the previous owner of my Rush Avenger cartridge stopped playing the game, and for good reason. And the reason that I knew that is that just immediately deleting the file was because for some reason this game decides, nah, let's only have one save file. Why? I mean, is it because of all of the ocean making the overworld too big? Phantom Hourglass had more than one save file. Like, I don't know, whatever.